All right, guys, video number 2 with the new Tesla Model 3 Performance after leaving a BMW X3M competition, aka the GOAT SUV for performance SUVs go. Anyways, this is going to be a video talking about all of the numbers, the financial side of what does it cost to own a Tesla Model 3 Performance. What did it cost to own and just sort of daily drive a BMW X3M competition? I think at this point, especially like in terms of what the trade-in value of my BMW was, which I'll get into, you're not too far off in terms of the pricing. You can probably find a decent X3M competition for around $57,000 to $60,000. This car probably around the same price, because if you're looking at one of the premium colors that bumps it out of the tax rebate, which isn't going to be around for hardly much longer, so that if you take that $7,500 tax incentive out of the picture, you're looking at about $55,000 in change for the Performance Model 3, and maybe around the same price for the X3M competition. So they're very different, physically sized vehicles, but they're both performance-oriented vehicles that I've had experience owning. So this is going to be a video just talking about the numbers. Okay, so brand new. I did not buy the BMW brand new. The original owner sticker was $93 and change. It's not a cheap car. It's a luxury SUV with a very expensive engine under the hood, twin turbo, straight six, 510 horsepower on paper, 515 at the wheels. So BMW definitely underrating it there, but I ended up buying it with around 8,000 miles on it. Very, very, very well taken care of. It was a garage queen. It was not the previous owner's daily driver. He had it the professional paint correction, G-Technic ceramic coated, the 8-year, I think it's the XO Ultra. But I ended up getting the BMW with 8,000 miles on it for $72,000. That was what the dealer was asking. Like in the previous video that I did with this car talk, I sold a lot of the guitar equipment to put down $10,000 at the time of purchase. Again, we had a budget that we were working with, and I needed $10,000 down to get the monthly payments within our budget. And so that's what I did. Made the gear sacrifices, I made it happen. Did some grinding at the shows, sold some expensive stuff that I had, really, looking back on it, kind of wish I didn't, but again, those were the sacrifices that I made, the decisions that I made. I don't regret it, but I definitely missed that JP6. Boy, I'll tell you what, that was a great guitar, and prices haven't really shot up on the used value of those compared to what I sold it for, so kind of kicking myself on that one, but neither here nor there. Got the car for $72,000, put down $10,000, so right around $62,000 was my out-the-door price. It resulted in a monthly payment of $1,150. A lot of money, but we didn't do like the big, 72-month thing to drag it out. I wanted to stay on top of the depreciation, and shortening the term of the loan allowed me to do that. So I bumped up the payment to $1,200 flat, and so that was within our budget of what I needed to pay for the car. What I was not anticipating, however, was spending $300+ a month on gas. It averaged around $315 a month if I'm going back and looking at the gas payments over the months. Right around $315 to $325 per month in gas. Insurance was $190 a month. Not terrible. I mean, for a luxury vehicle, I guess it's about probably the right amount, but it was $190 a month for insurance, bringing the total monthly cost of driving that BMW to right around $1,700 a month. Yeah, nice things cost money. So there's the numbers for the BMW. Now let's switch gears and talk about the Tesla. MSRP, like I said earlier, I think it's around 58,000 if you were to get the red paint and not get the tax credit. You're right there around 58,000. Now let's talk about trading in the BMW and buying the new Tesla. The BMW had right around 27,000 miles on it, and the average trade-in value for that car right around $55,000. If I went private party, I probably could have gotten a few thousand more, but I really didn't want to have to hassle with going private party. I thought about it, but I decided, you know what, it's probably just going to be easier, especially if I'm going to have to drive out of state. I live in Alabama. Tesla don't sell cars in Alabama, so I was like, I'm going to have to drive out of state. I'm going to have to fool with getting a ride from somebody and dealing with maybe like being in limbo, not having a car. So I was like, it'll just be a lot easier on me to just trade it in and be done with it and walk away with the new Tesla. So thankfully, Tesla came at me with a very good trade-in value. It was a little over 55.5 was right around what they offered me for the car. I had about $6,000 in equity. Again, like I mentioned, we bump up our monthly payments, and we don't do like the really long drawn out terms where you can fall behind in terms of being upside down on the loan. You never want the car to be worth a huge amount less than what you are paying or what you owe the bank. So I had equity in the BMW, had about $6,000 in that, and I was able to apply that onto the down payment of the Tesla. MSRP of this car before or after the fees was right at $56,000. Again, that includes not having to pay for the red paint. There was the $7,500 EV tax credit added to bring that $56,000 lower, and then the $6,000 from the trade-in on the BMW. So the total amount financed for this car is right at $43,000. And the interest rate that I got was 5.39%, which is about your industry average there. We looked at a couple of we looked at the credit unions. We looked at USAA, which is where we do our insurance with, and everybody's just right there between 5.25 and 5.5 or so. I did a 5-year term on this car, and if I were to draw out the entire 5 years on the payments, I would be paying $6,300 in interest, and I'm not about that. So again, we always pay extra on our loans to pay down that principal faster. If I were to draw it out for the full 5 years and eat all the interest, it's right around total cost to outright own the car would be right at $50,000. Now, here's where our math and the financial goals, which kind of was the ultimate reason why I sold the BMW. Here's where all of this kind of comes together. I'm saving around $700 a month by going to this car. The BMW, it costs $1,700 a month for the car payment, the fuel, and the insurance. With the Tesla, I've rounded up from like $835 to $850 for the payments, no cost for fuel, and the insurance is right at $140-ish a month. So we're saving, I'm paying, right around $1,000 for the car payments and the insurance on this car. That $700, we're probably going to throw that on top of the payments that we're making with the wife's XC90 Volvo. Now, that car kind of came about from a happy accident. Well, not really that happy. We had the XC60 that we were making extra payments on from selling the Dodge Charger. We were throwing extra money at that. Got it paid off like literally the week she paid it off. Some woman hits her and totals the car. Nobody was hurt and the kids were fine, but the car unfortunately was not, and it got totaled out. And USAA cut us a check for $40,000 for the total XC60. So we had always had our eyes on the bigger SUV, hauling more kids, hauling soccer kids and carpooling and stuff like that. The third row was one of those things where like, man, that would be nice. And also we were like, man, those hybrid Volvos, they're getting a ton of miles, a ton of range. You can get 30 miles of EV range, refilling every 1,500 miles or so. That's about what we've averaged. So we always kind of had our eyes on those, but they are not cheap cars. Again, they are luxury SUVs. But if you got a $40,000 check in your hand from the insurance company, all of a sudden, the big price tags on those luxury SUVs aren't as scary looking. So we put down $40,000 on a very low mileage, almost brand new XC90 hybrid T8 Ultimate. You know, it's the full big deal. It was the right color. It had the capstan chairs in the second row. It was exactly what she wanted. MSRP on that thing was right around $84,000. The dealer was selling it for about $10,000 less than that. So total amount financed on her car was right around, after taxes and everything and fees, was like right around like 36, 37-ish, give or take. But it was at 7.4% financing. So that's why we are throwing extra money at that loan so that we can pay off that car faster. So step one of the financial plan, get rid of the expensive BMW. Step two, put extra money at the wife's car to pay off that higher interest loan quicker. So her actual loan is right around $750 a month, but we've bumped it up to $1,000, and with the extra $600 or $700 saved from going away from the BMW, we are on track to have that car paid off around the end of 2026. That early payoff will dodge about $5,000, give or take, in interest finance charges. So again, big plus there for paying it off, and paying it off early. Step two, or no, 3, 4, whatever step it is, whatever step we're on, is taking all that money from the Volvo once that's paid off and throw it at either the Tesla, or maybe throw some of it at the Tesla and start throwing some extra at the college funds for the kids, 401k, things like that. If we take the entire amount, that $1,600, $1,700 that we would be throwing at the Volvo, once the Volvo is paid off, if we just throw that on top of the Tesla loan, we're looking at maybe a 2-year payoff once we ramp up the payments on that. So potentially could have this thing paid off in about 3 years if we kind of really laser focused on not letting any of the extra money kind of drift here or there, which it's easy for that to kind of start slipping here and there. Oh, we need to pay for this, we need to pay for that. Stay laser focused and committed to it. It can make significant impacts in the whole, look at the debt snowball. If we remain laser focused on that, once the Tesla's paid off, that's $2,500 a month that we have just sitting there. So depending on what your goals are and what your own financial situation is, hopefully this video gives you a little food for thought. I think that it's nice that if you want an EV, there are a lot of options these days. And if you want a Tesla in particular, you can get into a Model 3 lease for like $300 a month. EVs don't have to be expensive. Like $300 it's a fairly affordable number for a lot of people. And it's a lot cheaper, especially if you're considering not having to pay for fuel, paying potentially lower insurance premiums, things like that. All of a sudden it starts to become a more and more attractive option depending on your own situation and what you're after. So yeah, that was part 2, Fast Red Financials part of the this whole lifestyle update on the channel. And again, staying focused on all the gear reviews and the cool equipment and things like that. But for anyone who might either be new to the channel, or maybe a search algorithm, YouTube algorithm has driven somebody here that just has no interest in guitars but might be looking at this car stuff, hopefully you got a little bit of information and maybe some enjoyment out of this. Anyways, if you guys want any more information on either the BMW or just what the Tesla driving experience is like, I know that these aren't exactly new cars anymore, so there's a lot of information, a lot of other videos, a lot of Tesla channels out there that have tons of content on that. But if you're looking for anything from my perspective, either hit me up in the comments and I can reply there, or if there's enough interest, I can do another video or something like that. Whatever. Anyways, I will see you guys in the next video. It's spoiler, it's probably going to be either a Friedman amp or a Licklighter amp. I'm not sure which one I'm going to be reviewing first, but both of them are amazing. So anyways, I'll see you guys in one of the two of those videos coming up soon. Y'all take care. Bye.